What small favor turned into your biggest regret? My coworker Bethany asked me for the tiniest favor on a Thursday morning. Just watch her desk for 20 minutes while she ran to the pharmacy. She had this urgent prescription to pick up, and the boss was being weird about people leaving during work hours. I said sure, no problem. We'd worked together for 2 years, and she'd covered for me plenty of times. She left her computer logged in, which seemed normal since she'd be right back. Her phone sat next to her coffee mug, screen down. I went back to my own work, occasionally glancing over to make sure nobody was looking for her. 10 minutes passed, then 20, then 40. Her computer screen went dark from inactivity. When I moved her mouse to wake it up, just to make it look like someone was there, an email notification popped up. The preview showed, final documentation for Kira. My stomach did this weird flip. Kira was my 7-year-old daughter's name. Not exactly common. I told myself it was a coincidence. Lots of people named Kira in the world, right? But something made me click on that email. The full message opened up and my blood went cold. There were photos attached. Pictures of my daughter at her school playground, at her Saturday dance class, walking with me to our car in the grocery store parking lot, dozens of them, all taken from a distance. Some zoomed in on just her face. The email thread went back 3 weeks. Bethany had been hired by my ex-husband Garrett to document my daily routines with Kira. Times I picked her up, where we went after school, who we spent time with. She'd been following us, taking pictures, making notes about whether I seemed attentive or distracted, whether Kira looked well cared for or neglected. I scrolled down with shaking hands, found the original message from Garrett's lawyer. We need evidence of inconsistent parenting and potential endangerment. The subject frequently appears distracted and allows the child too much independence. Document everything, even minor incidents. Bethany had written back accepting the job for $2,000. She'd noted things like me checking my phone at the playground, letting Kira walk 10 feet ahead of me at the store, the one time I was 5 minutes late to pick up because of traffic. She'd twisted every normal parenting moment into something sinister. The bathroom excuse made sense now. She wasn't at any pharmacy. She was probably outside right now, taking pictures of my car in the parking lot, noting that I was at work instead of being a full-time devoted mother, or some garbage like that. I heard footsteps in the hallway and quickly minimized the email. Bethany walked back in carrying a white pharmacy bag, smiling like nothing was wrong. Thanks so much, Lucia. You're a lifesaver. She sat down and immediately checked her phone, probably looking for new instructions from Garrett's lawyer. I went back to my desk and spent the next hour pretending to work while my mind raced. Everything made sense now. How Bethany suddenly wanted to be lunch buddies 3 weeks ago. How she kept asking about my weekend plans with Kira. That time she offered to grab coffee and just happened to walk by Kira's school with me. That afternoon, I did something I probably shouldn't have. I forwarded all those emails from Bethany's account to myself. Every photo, every note, every communication with Garrett's lawyer. Then I deleted the forwarded messages from her sent folder. She'd been sloppy, keeping everything right there in her work email. I confronted Garrett that night after Kira went to bed, called him on video chat so he could see my face when I told him I knew everything. His expression went from smug to panicked in about 2 seconds. Lucia, I can explain. You hired my coworker to stalk our daughter, I said, keeping my voice steady even though I wanted to scream. You paid someone to follow a 7-year-old around with a camera. He tried to spin it, saying he was just concerned about Kira's well-being, that his lawyer said it was standard practice in custody modifications. But I had the emails. I had Bethany calling our daughter the target and discussing the best angles to make me look neglectful. I filed a police report the next morning. Stalking, harassment, invasion of privacy. My lawyer said Bethany's documentation would actually help my case since it showed them deliberately trying to manufacture evidence. The ethics violation alone would probably cost Garrett's lawyer his license. Bethany got fired when I showed HR the emails. Using company equipment to stalk a coworker's child was apparently a big deal. She tried to say I'd violated her privacy by reading her emails, but I reminded everyone she'd asked me to watch her desk with her. Computer wide open. The custody battle got ugly after that. Garrett claimed I'd set him up, that I'd somehow orchestrated everything, but the judge saw right through it. Garrett lost his visitation rights for 6 months and had to do supervised visits after that. The favor that ruined everything wasn't just watching Bethany's desk. It was trusting her in the first place, letting her into our lives, sharing stories about my daughter, thinking workplace friendship meant something. Now Kira asks why Miss Bethany doesn't come to lunch with us anymore. And I have to lie because how do you explain that level of betrayal to a 7-year-old? I still check every car that sits too long outside the dance studio. Still look for faces I recognize at the playground. That 20-minute favor taught me that sometimes the smallest gestures of trust can open the door to the biggest violations. Some favors cost way more than you ever imagined.